So today I want to talk about the chip shortage, the global semiconductor shortage. This is related to the automobile industry. So before I get started, let me just say I have a number of other videos on the automobile industry. You can check out those videos if you follow these links right here. The question for today is, why is there a semiconductor shortage and whom is it affecting? Let's backtrack to the early days of the pandemic. Demand for new automobiles plummets. Therefore, production of new automobiles plummets. Why is this relevant? Well, automobiles use semiconductors. Production goes down, demand for these semiconductors go down. That's step one. Step two is, hey, there are some differing sophistication levels of semiconductors. There are these kind of low margin legacy chips. There are these high margin state-of-the-art chips. That's a little bit simplistic, but you get the idea. The automobile industry utilizes these low margin legacy chips. They don't really need anything super sophisticated. Next step, supply chain disruptions, right? So the semiconductor industry isn't a one producer and one buyer. There are a number of different players in the production of chips. So all of these demand issues trickle down through a number of different players. Also, we have the global trade war between the US and China affecting the supply of these chips. We also have some severe weather disruptions to the supply chain. Next, we have the fact that on the flip side of the coin, consumer electronic demand during the pandemic skyrockets. Now, these particular manufacturers want to use these state-of-the-art, high margin computer chips. Demand for those goes up. So there's a shift from these legacy chips that the automobile industry is using to these state-of-the-art chips that consumer electronics are using. Next, we're going to fast forward to now 2021, and the demand for chips, these low margin legacy chips of the automobile industry, all of a sudden the demand for these goes up, but the supply is not there because these manufacturers have shifted their manufacturing to make these more state-of-the-art type chips. Also, now this is beginning to affect other industries because in the kitchen appliance and washer and dryer type world, these types of appliances also now use chips. They also happen to use these low sophistication, legacy, low margin type chips that the automobile industry is. So the shortage is now trickling down into these types of markets. Now, of course, you've got the chip manufacturers. In general, their response to this is, oh, yeah, like why would they care, right? So they've shifted from this low margin manufacturing to this high margin manufacturing. All of these legacy chips they're on the bottom of the list, right? So car manufacturers, appliance manufacturers, look, hey, if we can get to it, we'll get it for you. But as long as we can produce these higher margin products, we are going to do that. So the response from the chip manufacturers has really been like, hey, we don't really care, right? So what I'm saying to you is when you're doing your investment analysis, you need to take this into consideration. This chip shortage isn't going to be resolved until the end of this year, early next year. Keep that in mind. With that, I hope you enjoyed it. Happy trading out there. I'm Brian Kozlowski. Thank you so much.